In this tutorial, I will show you step by step how you can start trading cryptocurrencies on the Blofin exchange like a professional trader. I will show you all of the settings, all of the features that you must know. To get started, I recommend you go below this video and you click that link to create a new Blofin account. With that link, you will get to exactly this page where you can claim a 10% lifetime trading fee cashback, which means every time you place a trade, you are paid back 10% of the trading fees, which is a really great lifetime discount on trading fees and will save you a lot of money. Additionally, you can claim a trading bonus worth 5,000 USDT, which you can use for futures trading. If you want to get these bonuses, especially the 10% trading fee discount, go to the video description, click that link and take advantage of this offer. Once you have created your Blofin account, you first must deposit some funds, which you can do in the top right corner where it says assets, click on funding. And now you can see the deposit section right here. Then you select your crypto and your network. For example, TRC20 is what I usually use on USDT. If you want a full guide on depositing cryptocurrencies on Blofin, you can go to the video description where we have made a full in-depth guide on depositing cryptocurrencies on Blofin. Alternatively, if you don't have any cryptocurrencies yet, you can deposit them in the top left corner where it says buy crypto with a credit and debit card. Once the cryptocurrencies arrive in your wallet, you must transfer them from your funding or spot wallet to the futures wallet. Let's go back to the asset overview section. And then you click on transfer in the top right corner. Now we must select a USDT because that is the collateral we will use for futures trading. Then select the wallet where the USDT is currently located. In my case, it is the funding wallet, and we want to send it to the futures account. I click on all and confirm it, and now the funds are ready in the futures account. That's where we need it. Before we start trading on Blofin, let's get familiar with the trading fees and costs. There are two costs that you must consider. The first is trading fees. To see the trading fees, go to the bottom of the home page. Then you can see in the support section the fee schedule right here. Click on this, and now we are on the fee schedule page. Now we do have spot and futures trading. Of course, we want to click on futures right here. And now you can see the maker and taker fees. Maker fees refer to limit orders, which are placed in the limit order book. And taker fees are market orders, which are executed immediately, and they take liquidity out of the limit order book, therefore they are takers. Market makers usually have lower fees, so if you execute a limit order, you get a fee of 0.02%, but if you have a market order, you actually pay 0.06%. Overall, Blofin has relatively low fees. Additionally, if you use the link in the video description, you will get an additional 10% trading fee discount. So effectively, this will be 0.018 and this will be 0.054. This 10% also applies for all of the other VIP sections because the more you trade, the more your fee discount will be. For example, if you reach, $25 million in trading volume, you only pay 0.004% maker fees and 0.045% taker fees. And again, when you use the link in the video description to create your account, you get a 10% trading fee discount on this as well. The second fee that you must consider is the funding fee. To see the funding fee, let's go to the futures section in the top left corner and let's click on futures. The funding fee is a fee that is applied every 8 hours to open position. So if you open a trade and you have it open for more than 8 hours, you will see this countdown right here. And right now, in 5 hours, the next funding rate will be distributed. Right now, the funding fee is positive, but the funding fee can also be negative. This can regularly change based on the spot price compared to the futures price. The idea is if the futures price is higher than the spot price, you want to, of course, get the futures price back down to the spot price. And how do you do this? You do this by having a positive funding rate, because when the funding rate is positive and people are longing, the longs have to pay a 0.0197% fee right now to the short positions. The funding fees are positive, longs are paying shorts, vice versa. If the funding fees are negative, the longs are paid by the shorts. So these fees don't go to the crypto exchange, but they go to the counterparty. So for every long position, there is a short position. And if the funding rate is positive, longs pay shorts, vice versa. If the funding rate is negative, shorts pay longs. Now we are in the Blofin Futures section. The very first thing I recommend you do is you click on this up here if you have light mode on, and click on the moon on the right hand side in the corner. We want to turn on the dark mode. It is much more pleasant to look at. In this tutorial, I will use the dark mode because I think it is much better. Before we get started with the whole interface and trading process, let's configure the settings. So in the top right corner right here, you can see this icon. Click on this, then we will open the setting configurations. Now we can change a few things here. This is just my preference. I don't want to have an order confirmation. So every time I click on buy, I'm immediately in the trade. But if you want to confirm everything with an additional pop-up, you can turn this on. So if you now, for example, click on market buy, you will get an additional pop-up asking if you want to confirm this trade. I have it turned off because I want to be in the trade quickly and I want to be out of the trade quickly. Now close all positions and cancel all orders. I have this turned on. Then we have trade notifications, which can be with or without sound. If you have it without sound, you just get a pop-up. If you have sound turned on, you will get a beeping sound. For example, if you're in another room and you want to be notified when, I don't know, your limit orders or trigger orders are executed, then you will hear the sound and then you can rush back to your room and see what is going on. But I have this turned off. I don't really need this. I also have the sound turned off, except for liquidation alert. This is kind of important in case I'm close to liquidation price. Maybe I want to add collateral. So I have this turned on. This is the only thing that I have turned on. Now we get to the most important settings in my opinion. Position mode. I have this set to hedge mode. If you have it to one-way mode, which I think is the default setting on Blofin, so if you log into Blofin for the first time, it will be set to one-way mode. I recommend you change it to hedge mode because it is much better, much more professional and easier to use in my opinion. Also, one-way mode only allows you to long or short separately, not simultaneously. If you have set it to hedge mode, you can long and short at the same time, which is a great risk management tool, and you can offset losses from one trade with the profits from another trade. And it is, in my opinion, the best feature because pretty much every other crypto exchange has this as the default as well. So I will go with hedge mode in this tutorial, confirm this. And then we get to trading unit. By default, it will be set to crypto. Now, let me show you what this means. If you have set this to crypto, the amount that is calculated here is Bitcoin. For example, now that we are trading Bitcoin, we can buy 1 Bitcoin. But let's assume you want to enter an order with exactly $10,000. Now, how do you do this? You would have to calculate how much Bitcoin is worth $10,000. So 0 point something, I don't know. So let's go back to the settings. Go to crypto, click on USDT because now you can see this is switched to US dollars. So now we can say exactly how much we want to invest in this trade. These are the settings and now we can move on to the user interface. First things first, let's start with this bar at the very top. On the left side, you can select the cryptocurrency you want to trade. You can see here we have the futures tab and a favorite tab. You can scroll down, they have tons of cryptos available. If you want to highlight a cryptocurrency because you trade this regularly, let's just say, for example, you're trading XRP a lot, you can click on this star on the left side and then you will have it in your favorite section and then you can access this much quicker. Just a great feature if you want to trade, let's say, a handful of coins regularly. But this is how you change the asset. In this case, we will just go with Bitcoin. Now we can see the coin information, for example, 24-hour change. We can see the high, the low, the trading volume, and then the funding rate. The funding rate is, in my opinion, the only really important thing that you must know because, as mentioned before, this is a cost and fee to consider, especially when you're planning to hold trades for a long period of time because these fees apply every 8 hours. This is to balance out the difference between spot and futures price. Sometimes the funding rate is positive, sometimes it's negative, sometimes they are lower, sometimes they are higher. This regularly changes, but definitely pay attention to it, especially if you want to hold trades for a long period of time. Now let's get to the trading chart. We can see right here, we have charts featured by TradingView. I use TradingView separately to analyze charts. If you want to check out TradingView as well, I'll leave you a link to the TradingView website in the video description. You can create a free account, a 30-day free trial. Just get familiar with the software. In my opinion, it's one of the most important charting softwares, and it is basically risk-free. You can try it for 30 days with the link in the video description. TradingView is pretty much integrated in every single crypto exchange. Now let's start with the time up here on the left side. You can change the time frame, for example, 1 minute if you are a scalper, or 1 hour, 4 hour daily. You can also click on this drop down right here and select different time frames. Maybe you want to see it on the weekly chart. You can see now it's on the weekly. There we go. In this video, let's just go with the 1 hourly chart. Then next to that, we have this graph icon, and this will pull up the indicators. Now, these are definitely useful, but I think it is much better to use these on TradingView separately. But if you want to use them right here, you can, for example, add a moving average exponential. If you want to change the values, go to the top left corner of the chart, then click on this, double click, and then you can change the inputs. But yet again, I don't really analyze charts on the Blofin exchange. I analyze it separately in TradingView as the standalone version. It is a very, very powerful tool. But if you want to use simple tools, you can do this right here in the chart. Now we also have tools on the left bar, for example, Fibonacci retracements. And if you click on this arrow, you can see all of these options. And what I really like here, you can star them, which adds them to a favorite, and then you have it directly on the chart. One of the most used tools from me on Blofin is the long position and short position. Now let me show you this. We can click on this right there. We can add this to the chart. Now this doesn't execute any trade, but you can now visually see how your trade would look like. Let's say you want to enter a long, you put your stop loss below the current low. And then you add your take profit somewhere up here. You can now see that this is your trade idea, and you can leave this in the chart to really visually see all of your parameters. So that is definitely a cool tool. Alternatively, maybe you want to short here. This is not the short option. We can also do this because we can profit from longing if the market goes up, but also from shorting if the market is going down. Now, right next to the chart, we have an order book where we can see all of the resting orders. And this is also great for analyzing the liquidity. You can also increase the values if you want to see more of the order book. You can set it to $1 right here. So every dollar movement, you see now how much liquidity is in the order book. That is definitely more for advanced traders, but it is definitely an important feature. In the order book, in the top section, we can see all of the short positions, which means people are trying to sell. And the bottom, we can see all of the long positions, which means people are trying to buy Bitcoin at these prices. Now, in the order book, these are all limit orders, which means they are maker orders, and they will only be executed when a market order is hitting the market and then filling their order. And in the middle, we can see the current price, which means that is the last price where Bitcoin was trading. Then you also have the trade history, where you can see every single trade, can scroll through this, also great for scalping. And on the right hand side, we have the create order section. This is where we put in our order details. This is where we can switch between cross and isolated margin. The difference between isolated and cross margin is how the positions are viewed. Isolated looks at every single position separately. That also means you can only liquidate one position. So if the liquidation price of an isolated trade is reached, only this trade will be liquidated. However, if you use cross margin, you can actually liquidate your whole account, because what happens with cross margin, you can offset, for example, losses of one trade with profits from another trade. So your whole account, your whole futures account will be used as collateral. Okay, this only refers to the futures account. Don't worry, you can't lose what's in your funding or spot wallet. You can only lose what's in your futures account. But if you are liquidated on cross margin, that means that your overall collateral is too low and all of your funds will be liquidated. Now, there are ups and downs on both sides. I prefer, for beginners, just go with isolated. If you're more experienced, you can go with cross. Of course, it is different for everybody. There are different strategies. Some must use cross margin, others use isolated. I personally use cross margin most of the time because I want to hedge my position. So if you want to trade professionally, get familiar with cross margin. This is where we set the leverage. Now, it's important to note that you have separate leverage for longs and shorts when you are on isolated and hedge mode. Remember, I use hedge mode. If you want to change hedge mode, you can go to position mode down here and change it from one way to hedge mode. Now, if you're on cross margin, you only have one single leverage, which you use for longing and shorting. Then you can select if you want to open or close a trade, which is another reason why I prefer hedge mode over one-way mode, because it is much easier to use, because you don't rely on the reduce only feature, because you can just simply click on open and close. It is much more clear to use. Now we have market orders. which means you are executing the trade immediately. Market orders are taker orders. Now we have also limit orders, which are placed in the order book. We already covered the order book. So if you make a limit order, your order will be inside this order book. Now you also have trigger orders, which are market orders. Now let's say you want to long at 72,000 and Bitcoin is right now trading below this. You can't place a limit order above the current price if you want to long. What you then must do is you use a trigger order, which places a market order the moment 72,000 is reached. Then lastly, we can also add a take profit and stop loss when we enter a trade. So let's see here. Let's just go all in. We can add a take profit at 72,000 and a stop loss at 71,000. And then we click on long. And now you can see we have a trade now open with all of the take profit and stop loss details as well. Don't worry, we will go over all of these stop loss settings in a bit again as well. The last thing in the user interface is the position tab down here, where you can see your current position, your open orders, your order history, your position history, your assets, and also trading bots in case you have any. Now, one important thing to add here, I have customized these settings a bit. You can click on these lines and then you see all of these things that will be displayed. I have turned off margin ratio. I have turned off reverse. I have turned off ADL. Now, if you turn all of this on, you can see there are a lot of information. But if you need these settings, you can simply click on reset and then you will have all of them here. But I prefer to have them turned off to kind of take away the noise, because it's kind of an information overload, you could say. It's just too much information. Now you are familiar with all of the different tools and settings that you need in order to make a trade on Blofin. The first thing we have to decide is, do we open a long position or do we open a short position? Longing means we are betting on the price going up, and shorting means we are betting on the price going down. First of all, let's configure cross and isolated margin. I prefer to use cross margin right now, and the leverage I set to 3x. If you want to use higher leverage, you can just click on this right here, where it says 3x right now, and then you can go through this. Otherwise, you can also type in a specific number, like let's say you want 52x leverage, which I don't recommend. This is a lot. If you are a beginner, stay with lower leverage. I use 3x now, and now we can decide market, limit, and trigger order. Let's now showcase a market order first, because market orders are the most common type of orders. They are the fastest orders, and you will be immediately in the trade. This is very important, especially if you're a day trader. If you want to be in the trade immediately, market orders are the way to go. Now we can decide how much we want to invest in this trade. In my case, I want to open a position worth $100. I type in $100 and now I can click on long. However, I can also add a take profit and stop loss before I open the trade if I want to do this. Otherwise, if you don't do this, you can also add a take profit and stop loss after you have already created the trade. I will just enter without a TP/SL. I click on long and now I'm immediately in the trade. I am now long on Bitcoin. Now you can see down here, we have the position overview. Here you can see all of the important details. First of all, you can see which asset you are trading and also your leverage. You can click on this. You can also change the leverage, which is a great feature. Not every crypto exchange allows you to change the leverage after opening the trade. But if you want to change it, you can do that here in this tab. Then you see the total value which you entered for the trade. You can see your entry price where you bought. You can see your margin which you have used for the trade. You can see your P&L, which means profit and loss. And if you click on this down here, this small little arrow, you can also see the P&L card. You can use this to share it with your friends. Maybe you have a great trade, then you can see the percentage gain right here, which is a great feature. Next, you can see your liquidation price. Right now, I don't have a liquidation price because my position is relatively low. If you trade with more leverage, you will see your liquidation price here. Once this price is reached, you will be liquidated and you will lose all of your margin, which you used for this trade. I have just created a new trade, so I can show you this as an example right here. In this case, my liquidation price is at $48,033. My liquidation price is relatively low because I use low leverage, but if you use higher leverage, your liquidation price will be much closer to the current price. For this, let me showcase this. Let's go with isolated margin right now, and let's pump the leverage up to 150. I only do this for the sake of this video. Please don't do this. I'm just showing you this, how close the liquidation price will be. You can see right now the liquidation price is, let's go to the 1 minute chart. The liquidation price is 71,529. So if we move down only 0.3%, I will be liquidated and I will lose all of my money. That's why I will now immediately close this trade, because I don't want to lose this money, even if it's just a few $100s. Still, don't gamble with that money, guys. Don't use high leverage like that. I have now showed you how it will look like in the position overview if you have a liquidation price. And now let's go back to the other trade. The mark price is the current price where Bitcoin is trading right now. And then we have an action field right here where we can also close the trade. For example, here I can choose that I want to fully close the trade by sliding this all the way to the side. Alternatively, I can put in a specific number like 50, click on close, and then it will close only $50 of this trade. Additionally, I can click on close all, which will immediately close everything in this trade. And as mentioned before, you can add a take profit and stop loss also after you have already entered the trade. You can click on this plus right here. And now you can put in the exact details when you want to take profits and also when you want to trigger your stop loss. Let's put this to 71,000. There we go. And now we can see we have a take profit and a stop loss in the charts. If you want to edit your take profit and stop loss, you can use this slider and slide it to the upside or to the downside, just depending on what you want to do. Same for the stop loss. And if you want to cancel it, you can click on this X button right here, which will cancel the stop loss. And we have to do the same now for the take profit. Additionally, you can go to the open orders tab right here. And then you see right here we have a TP/SL section where your take profit and stop loss is located. And then you click on modify or cancel. If you want to modify it, you can change it right here. Alternatively, you can also click on cancel right here to get rid of these orders. Now, if you want to exit the trade on Blofin, you have a couple of different options. I already mentioned this right here, which is the market close, which closes 100% of the position immediately. Additionally, you can also see in the chart, you again have this X button right here. You can click on this. Now we can see this confirmation. We click on close all and the trade is gone. Another option is using the close tab on the order section on the right hand side. You have open and close. You can click on close. In this case, let's only exit with 50% of the trade. Remember, we are right now in a long trade, which means we must click on the right side, which means close long. This will now close 50% of our trade. If you want to enter a specific amount which you want to pull out of this trade, you can also do this with putting in the USDT value. Additionally, if you want to fully exit the trade, you can use this slider, slide it all the way to the right, and then click on close long. There we go. Now our trade is successfully closed. And that's how you can long and short on Blofin. If you want to learn more about Blofin, check out the links in the video description. I have also made a full in-depth guide only dedicated to take profit and stop loss. Check out the videos that I leave in the video description. We have a ton of guides for crypto exchanges like Blofin and other platforms as well, where we cover everything you need to know. If you want to get started with trading on Blofin with the best trading fees, I highly recommend you take advantage of the link in the video description, because with the link in the video description, it will be the very first link. You will get to this page where you will activate a 10% trading fee cashback. That means every time you open a trade, you will get back 10% of the trading fees, which is a really, really great offer and will give you some of the best trading fees in the crypto market. Additionally, you will be eligible for a bonus of up to 5,000 USDT, which you can use for trading. For more information about the bonus, check out the link in the video description. I have made a full guide about the best Blofin bonuses and how you can claim them all.